Welcome back to another edition of Our City. I hope all enjoyed the Memorial Day holiday weekend. And now as we head into the hotter months, may you all be safe. And we're going to be talking about fire safety in the first part of our show this evening. On Wednesday, June 1st at 9:30 in the morning, United Airlines summer kickoff event for the SAA program. This year, they are welcoming 70 young men and women from the community. It's going to be held in Terminal C in Liberty Conference Room at Newark Liberty International Airport. United Airlines works with 70 young people, gives them summer jobs. It's a great opportunity for young people to learn about the airlines during the summer. Later that evening at 5 o'clock, I'm going to attend the Office of Youth Awards dinner. This will be held at Downs Hall at Kean University, 1000 Morris Avenue. On Friday, June 3rd, the fire department will have a graduation ceremony for its new recruits in council chambers located on the third floor of City Hall. And also that evening, the Portuguese community will be raising the Portuguese flag outside of City Hall, followed by a program and a proclamation in City Council chambers. And on Sunday, June 5th at 2 o'clock, I once again will attend the parade of the Portuguese community. It's called Portugal Day Parade. It will begin in Union Square and conclude at the Portuguese Club on Route 1 and 9 in the city of Elizabeth. It's always a great parade in our community. Come on out and join us on Sunday. If you need any more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. Please stay with us after these messages, where I'll be back with Mr. Chris Lisi talking about summer fire prevention.
Sometimes you learn by helping others learn. Kean University.
Welcome back to Our City. I'm joined by Chris Lisi, who is the fire official in the Elizabeth Fire Department. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
Now, you've been on before.
I have.
32 years in the pension system, right?
Yes, sir.
So if the governor doesn't take it away from you.
I hope not.
I hope not either. You deserved it. You worked hard for a lot of years.
Thank you.
Before we begin, tell us about yourself. Started off as a EMS guy, right?
Yes, I started with the, which was part of the police department at the time, the Ambulance Service Bureau, 5 years. And then I took the test and transferred over to the fire department. So I have a total of 32 years for the city of Elizabeth.
And Chris, the Bureau of Fire Prevention, you worked as a fireman before you went into this, right? You have to take some testing.
Yes.
Be prepared. Tell us about that process.
I had 27 years in the suppression side of the fire department. During my 27 years, I went to school and became a fire inspector. After I got that certification, I became a fire official, got that certification, and then I took the test here in the fire department for the fire official and got the position.
So, and you work in the Bureau of Fire Prevention, which is basically teaching kids and businesses, and tell us about the role of the Fire Prevention Office.
The fire prevention, it's the educational side to teach the public to prevent fires. We go to schools, we bring students into the firehouses, we do inspections of all the buildings in the city of Elizabeth to prevent these hazards from occurring.
Now, when my daughter was 4 years old, we had a fire in our house, and we brought her downstairs to get out of the house.
Yes.
And she's 4 years old, and she said to me, "Daddy, when do I stop, drop, and roll?"
Okay.
At 4 years old, she said that to me.
Well, that's why education is so important early in the school years. We teach the kids to stop, drop, and roll when your clothes catch on fire. We teach the kids to get out of the house. Do not stay in the house. Do not hide in the house. Do not hide in closets, underneath beds. Get out. Get a hold of your parents. Get them outside and call 911 and get the emergency that you need.
Yeah, because I said, "Not now, Jacqueline. Now we just get out of the house."
Correct.
But she knew enough at 4 years old, based on a thing in preschool, to say that.
We're there from preschool all the way up, teaching the little kids as the students that it's all about safety, and hopefully by our education, in your case, your daughter, she knew right from wrong, and she did what she was supposed to do.
So, now summer's here, Chris, and I guess you do, I do. We all like to cook outside, right? We all grab the barbecue, we all grab the grill, outdoor picnics. Talk to us about fire safety, the different types of grills, charcoal and gas, and what should a homeowner, or even if you're at a bigger picnic, What are some of the priorities you need to pay attention to?
First of all, if it's charcoal briquettes, if you can get the self-igniting, that's much better. It's much safer. Keep it away from your house.
How do charcoal briquettes self-ignite?
What happens is they have the lighter fluid within the briquettes themselves, and all you do is need a match, and they ignite themselves. Okay. If you're going to use the older charcoal briquettes without the igniter, and you're going to put the lighter fluid on it only once, light it, let it do what it's going to do. Do not, I repeat, do not take the lighter fluid and spray it again to try to make the fire faster, start to burn faster.
Some people hold that can right above the fire. Yes. What happens then?
Well, what happens, it can carry right to you and catch your clothes on fire and burn you. You get yourself seriously injured. Keep it away from the house. Keep it away from all things that can catch on fire. Put it in the middle of the yard someplace. And if you have a water hose or a bucket of water, have it next to you. The natural gas and propane.
How many people still cook with the briskets? A lot?
A lot.
A lot,
sure.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. With the natural gas and with the propane, their valves, make sure the valves are working properly. Make sure the hoses are not dried out and cracked. And if you get a fire...
no, the hoses can dry out and crack during the winter time, right?
Sure they
they're
can.
Left outside.
Sure they can.
Explain how that could possibly happen.
Well, from the weather, from the exposures, they dry out. So what you want to do is you always want to check them before you start to ignite them again for the first time. If not, bring them back to Home Depot, Lowe's, find a plumber. He can replace everything for you, and it's safe again. Like I said before, keep it away from the house.
Both natural gas, if it's permanent,
sure,
and the propane, which you can move around.
Again, with the natural gas, you have the rubber hose, and it's only allowed a certain foot from where your connection is to the barbecue itself.
Okay, and so the natural gas and the hose and the connections, is there anything to do with the propane tank? Can that leak, or can that connection leak in any way?
Sure it can. If it's not properly sealed, if it starts to leak, shut the valve, disconnect it, and bring it to your department, whether it's Lowe's or Home Depot, and let them replace it.
Now, one of the things you should explain, Chris, is what about the tray underneath the grill, and it fills up with grease, and then your grill goes to...
Yep.
People don't pay attention sometimes.
No, what happens is it fills up with the grease and the fallings of whatever you're cooking on. People don't clean it out, and what happens from the heat of the flame itself, it ignites it, you have a big fire. And what happens is they throw water on it, hopefully put it out. If not, call 911 and get the fire department there.
Yeah, and if it's away from the house, you have time to put it out yourself with the water.
Sure, but we still want you to call 911. Right. Please call 911. All right, make sure it's out, make sure it's closed properly, and we'll tell you the proper directions of what to do.
How many times do you have a call like this during the summer? A lot, I guess, right?
Yeah, a lot. And then also the
people panic?
Sure, of course they do. It's human nature. Also the fireplaces that people have. Again, they're not taken care of. I've seen them sometimes underneath houses, underneath porches. Not supposed to be there.
That's a good point you raised. If you live in an apartment, should you have a gas grill on the veranda or anything?
Absolutely, positively not. It's against the city ordinance. You cannot have anything on the veranda or on the decking of anything. No, it cannot be.
It's again. So if somebody has a grill in a outdoor area, whatever, it's got to come off.
Yes. Yep. And if not, please call fire prevention, and then we'll take the next step.
You'll take it off.
Oh, you sure will.
You'll have if some of the neighbors should call, right?
Definitely.
So, also during the summer, we always deal with fireworks. Mm-hmm. And what is the law on fireworks in New Jersey?
Illegal. Cannot have them. Period.
Period. There's no, I can have a couple of cherry bombs.
Absolutely not.
All fireworks are illegal.
All fireworks are illegal in the state of New Jersey.
And unless they're, like we light the fireworks off on July 4th.
Right.
Now, that's legal? And
yes.
Tell us why.
We have to get a permit. The company that comes and does the fireworks, they get a permit from the state. It all has to be put into place. We have fire prevention personnel that are there in the beginning as they're setting up the fireworks. There is an engine company there in case we get a fire someplace else in the area that the fireworks are being shot off. And after the fireworks are over, we stay there half an hour or so later to make sure there's no spot fires.
And can anybody do that, Chris?
No, you have to be a licensed, permitted facility contractor through the state of New Jersey to do it.
So if some club in Elizabeth wants to, or a picnic, or a block party wants to light off fireworks,
no.
It's
No,
illegal,
absolutely not.
and you're never going to get a permit to do that anyway, correct?
That's correct.
The reasons for setting off fireworks. I mean, a former chief, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody set off fireworks and his roofing caught on
That's
fire.
correct.
Correct.
That's part of the problem. And besides catching yourself on fire and injuring yourself, I've seen people who are using illegal fireworks blow their fingers off, burn themselves, catch their clothes on fire. And besides that, once these illegal fireworks are going off, all these fireworks can land on a rooftop, open fields, and catch bigger fires. And then we have loss of property, and that's a bigger issue.
Now, you also deal with pool safety as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Pools and spray parks are now open. Talk about some pool safety tips for young people.
Follow the directions. Whatever
That's
the
an easy one,
directions-
right?
That's it. Follow directions.
Nobody does.
Of course not. If there's a lifeguard there, make sure you know where your lifeguard is. If it's a hot day, plenty of fluids. Drink lots and lots of water. Eat. All right, your body needs that fluid to cool off, and it needs that food for energy. Make a nice day out of it, you know, but be safe about it. If you have an issue and you don't feel good and you're starting to feel hot and overwhelmed, stop, sit down, get into a cool area, and call 911. Let EMS come and evaluate you, make sure they're okay.
And Chris, one of the things that people love to do in the summer is camp.
Yes.
And people go camping, and safety tips for our viewers: building a campfire, cooking over the campfire. They go to bed. What do they
Yes.
do when they go to bed and that campfire is there?
They never put the fire out.
They don't.
Cannot reiterate, put the fire out before you go to bed. Make sure it's out. All right? If you need a couple buckets of water to put it out, put it out. But even before you start that fire, make sure that the campground is allowing you to have fires. And we're not in
Oh, some will not.
because of the dry, fields and stuff that are, just recently in New Jersey we had a dry spell, and they didn't want us to have any campfires or anything in these parks and stuff.
So what's going on in Canada last month?
That's just an exception to the rule. They don't know why it started. It could be lightning. It could be sun hitting a bottle. We don't know at this point, but it went from small to big in a matter of hours. It just overwhelmed the whole department.
So in the warm weather, people are running their air conditioners frequently. Electricity is naturally in demand in
Sure.
the summer more than the winter.
Sure.
Safety tips for people running their air conditioners, and especially during high peak hours.
If you can contain it to one area, a room or something, to try to stay cool, that's fine. Try not to put 6 or 7 air conditioners on if possible. Again, drink plenty of fluids. And the air conditioners, do not use power strips. Use the cords that come with the air conditioners and no extension cords. That's what they're made to do.
Otherwise, you overload.
And what happens is the cord gets hot and you can have a fire.
Fire extinguishers for homes.
I suggest 2.5 pound ABC. You can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. And we suggest you mount them. And the reason being is people have a tendency of taking them, putting them in one area. Somebody else takes it from that area, puts it in another area. When
That happens in my house all the time.
You don't
We
have
move it. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
Mount it.
Mount it. So we've had some fires this year.
Sure.
Causes of some of them?
Natural gas. People are doing things they're not supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, during the cold spells, homeless people are trying to keep warm. They start fires in vacant buildings, and before you know it, it becomes bigger. They can't put it out, and they run out, and now we have bigger fires.
And speaking of fires, we had a fire on Orchard Street years ago where there were gates on the windows.
Yes.
And we could not get in to rescue a woman because of those gates.
Yes.
And plus, a fireman burned his hands pretty well. Tell us about why gates are so dangerous.
Well, you need 2 means of egress. A window is considered a means of egress. If you block that means of egress, you can't get out. There are gates that you could purchase. You go through the construction department here in the city of Elizabeth, and they'll tell you the type of gates. The gates are made from the inside. They close, they lock, and all it is a little hinge. Open it, and it opens up for you, and you can get out. So you have the safety as well as the protection.
Chris, if anybody has any questions during the summer or at any time, what number do they call and ask for advice?
908-820-4040. That's the Fire Prevention Bureau.
And you'll give them the answers.
I sure will.
Chris, I want to thank you,
Thank you.
for joining us on the show. But more importantly, you have announced your retirement,
I am.
and you have one more month left in the city of Elizabeth.
I do.
32 years.
Yes, sir.
So on behalf of the entire citizenry, I thank you for your commitment
Thank you.
and your service to the residents of Elizabeth.
It's been an honor. Thank you, Mayor. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
Chris.
that.
I want to thank Mr. Chris Lisi for his commitment and service to the citizens of Elizabeth, as well as all the work that he's done on fire prevention. Please stay with us after these messages, where I'll be joined by Miss Samantha Frejust, who was in 2016 Miss USA International and also a graduate of Benedictine Academy.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started.